please let me know. Let me know in the comments. All right. I know it's Saturday, so I'm not going to be before you long. I'm just going to give you some things that I believe can really help you with your business in order for you to grow your business and grow yourself. Okay. Lacey Ann said she got several leads. That is awesome. Let's see what else we got going on. Day 26. Let me post that on my Instagram. It's day 26. It's getting pretty intense. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to post that on my IG. Day 26. All right. That's a good day. How many of you guys have been on every single training the last 26 days? If you've been on every single training, say yes in the comments. If you've been on every single one. It's so funny how the when you have wisdom, you can see what everything is. Like there's 60 people on here. I know it's Saturday, but the truth is, we started off with like 160 people, 170 people, and we're down to 60. Okay. Maybe people get on, but that's usually how it works. Okay. I'm not going to be before you long. I'm going to talk to you about two things. Okay. Two things to help you grow your business. Pull your notebook out. Okay. And pay attention. Right. And I just was talking to someone about this earlier. And the number one thing that I want you to pay attention to over the next 90 days, which we're almost on day 30 in 4 days, is I don't want you to watch other people. Okay. I don't want you to watch other people. And the reason I don't want you to watch other people is because, and I'm going to go in one of these private rooms. Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to go in one of these private rooms so I'm not being rude. I'm at the gym, by the way. I'm making sure I keep doing a 3-day experience until we get to conference. Okay, so I'm gonna go in one of these rooms and talk to you. Give me a second. All right. So number one, okay, is I don't want you to pay attention to other people. Here's why. Okay. Everyone's at different points in their life. Everyone's at different levels of success. So someone can, be beating you, right? But based on what they've done before, they're not growing. Okay. So comparing your journey to someone else's is a very bad idea. And the reason it's a very bad idea is because you can be comparing yourself with someone who has more experience than you. You can be comparing yourself to someone who's been doing it longer than you. You can be comparing yourself to someone that you have more experience than, okay? And so you really aren't growing, you're not doing anything. And so a lot of times people miss the excitement of their journey because of the comparison, okay? Now, number two, here's one of the problems, and I said this to someone earlier, because as we are very intentional about our growth, in this organization, we have a lot of people who have experienced mental shifts, okay? But mental shifts still don't get results, okay? Where you have to graduate to, and what you have to graduate to, is an identity shift, okay? Most people, especially if you've been with me, you've had a mentality shift, meaning you do think differently, okay? So you have to give yourself credit for that. And you can tell a lot of people on here think differently. The problem is a lot of thinking still doesn't shift results, okay? So in order to go in the next phase, just like you've mastered your mental shift, you have to master an identity shift. And when you master your identity shift, you're going to master more results. So what does that mean, an identity shift? Okay. An identity shift means now you're a different person. I had a coaching call I had to do with someone today. And I said, I'm going to ask you a question because you've known me for a long time. Okay. I said, and you guys have known me for a long time, so you can answer yes or no. If you knew me last year and you've gotten on trainings with me and you've been to events with me and all this kind of stuff, Honestly answer, do you think that I'm a different person than when I was last year? Do you see something different about me? What do you notice different about me? Just let me know. And if you don't notice anything different, that's fine. But for the people who have been with me, closely with me, and been a part of what I've done, do you see something different about me just from last year? Do you see something different from me from the summertime? Okay. What do you see? Okay. What do you see? All right. Tell me what you see. Okay. Someone says you are calmer, you still are growing, yet you are consistent and still focused. Somebody said calmer, somebody said patient. Okay. All right. All those different things, very focused and intentional. Okay. More intentional with who you speak to. Okay. So intentional. All right. So there is a difference in me from who I was last year to who I am now. But that is very intentional. Okay. That is an identity shift because for me, it's very important that I not only grow in my mind, but I have to grow in my activity. Okay. I have to grow and become a different person. You do not grow by just having a mentality shift. Everyone in this organization has mastered mentality focus, a mentality shift. You do think different. You do. Here's the problem now. Okay. It's not your fault because after the training, we can use this. The problem is when someone trains you to mentally think different, that's part of it because you've seen yourself in a certain light your entire life. You've had a certain thinking pattern your entire life. But now all of a sudden, someone brings a new set of rules in your life of how you're supposed to think. And the disconnect is people master how to think like that. They master seeing themselves like that. So people struggle to be able to have an identity of what they think. And when you're struggling to have an identity for what it is that you think, you obsess over training and you love information and wisdom, but you still don't have the confidence to allow yourself to identify as a person, as this person who thinks like this. Your brain thinks like it, but your activity doesn't. That is because you've had a mental shift. But to go to the next phase, in order for people to talk to you and listen to you and be influenced by you, you have to go to the next phase, which is an identity shift. You should write it down. Okay. When you have an identity shift, people notice something different about you. When you have an identity shift, it's not just one. Okay, so in network marketing, when you have a mentality shift, the one thing that happens is you think different. But one of the things that can be very depressing is just because I'm thinking different, I'm still not influencing properly. My influence isn't going up. But that's because people can't see your mind, they still see you. So the game to be played is to get your mind to show up on the outside of who you are, which is an identity shift. Imagine, okay, imagine if you acted out all you thought about when you're having positive thoughts. Imagine if you had the courage to do it. We're not talking about laziness, not with most people. We're not talking about laziness or they won't do it. We're not talking about any of that. That's not what the problem is. The problem is your relationship with yourself to believe in yourself enough to act upon what you've been thinking about. And so it can be frustrating because you'll put a glass ceiling over yourself and you don't understand why you're not growing. Okay? But people can't see what you're thinking about. They can only see what you do. And the secret sauce to increasing your leadership or your influence or your organization or your business is now I have to act how I think. And this isn't a motivational conversation because people say, well, just, get up. No, 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 no. It's deeper than that. What it really is the relationship you have with yourself to believe, are you the person that you've been imagining or not? And most people struggle to feel that they are what they've been thinking about. Most people struggle to have the courage to show up how they've been thinking. It's lack of confidence. If you've been on all 26 days of training, you've had a mentality shift. You understood the importance to not miss the training. You've been on it. So when I was doing a call with someone today, I said, give yourself credit for shifting mentally. But in order for us to go to the next level, it has to shift identity. The way you shift your identity is by having a relationship with yourself to believe that you can act like how you've been thinking. Okay. The only way to find the courage to act like how you've been thinking and the amount of income that you say you want and all these different type of things is you have to find someone and you have to follow them. You have to be brave enough to follow them. What we have to do as leaders is a lot of times people are not following you because they're lazy. They're following you because they're not following you because they don't have the confidence to. Okay? They just don't believe that it's for them. They believe it's for you. And so that is why when I was talking to someone earlier today, I said, you can get people who struggle with confidence, you get them to obsess over work people see because that's how they feel validated. They feel validated by people seeing them work, okay? Because they don't have a strong enough relationship with themselves to feel that working on you will show up to the people. You should be more obsessed with working on you than working on what I can see. Okay? Because when you obsess more on working on yourself than working on what people can see, you can show up less than you show up and still be 10 times stronger. I was having a conversation with someone today. I said, I used to go live every day with this kind of conversation. You should always go live with the opportunity. So I want you to hear what I'm saying. I used to do a lot of lives talking how I'm talking now. I don't go live as much as I used to anymore on my page, okay? But I don't have to because I know that I obsess more over myself than I obsess over what you think about me. So that when I do show up, even if it's every week or every 2 weeks, you guys see me. But when I do show up, you'll go, now where did that come from? Or where did she get that from? Or wow, something's different about her. But that's because I'm more obsessed with who I'm becoming in the inside than what you think about me. And by you obsessing, it's an identity shift, guys. By you obsessing over having that relationship with yourself, when you do show up, you'll begin to influence. It's not enough to just think that you show, so I had this conversation with someone today. I said, when you see people influence leaders to partner with them, okay? If you want a leader to join you in a network marketing business, leaders join who they're most influenced by, for the most part, who they're most influenced by. So it's not enough to just say that you're growing. You have to be able to scale your growth. Let me tell you how I scale my growth. It's not necessarily so much how many people I recruit, but from me being a little girl at 24 and being 37 now, it's the type of people I can recruit. For me to get off the stage and recruit Karen Bernardo, who was a 500K in the company that I was only in for 3 or 4 months or whatever, this is because I've worked on myself to make her believe that I am wise enough for her to stay with me. To leave an opportunity where she was making multiple 6 figures and say, I'll start from scratch with you. The only reason, that's why you have to understand something. Most people want to be leaders, but remember, you're accountable and responsible for people when they decide to run with you. So it's not enough for me to just have her sign up with me. If a leader decides that they find some type of confidence through you, it's my responsibility to keep figuring things out, not only for myself, but for her also. And see, a lot of times people can't get very influential people to partner with them because they don't know if you are consistent enough to figure it out for them. Why would I trust you? If I don't see a difference in you from last year to this year, I'm not going to see a difference in your organization. I'm not going to see a difference in the caliber of people you influence. I'm not going to see a difference because you mentally shifted, and it can be frustrating. So I'm not being hard on you. I'm telling you what's happening. It could be very frustrating when you show up to training every single day, when you do what your coaches and your mentors are telling you to do, but you still don't see the results. I understand. Okay. But what is happening is you still haven't shifted your identity. You just shifted your thinking. And people cannot relate to the shift of your mental. They can shift, they can identify with the shift of your actions. When you present the opportunity to people, if you present it how you presented it last year, you're not growing. Okay? When you are on your Facebook or your social media and your content looks like how it looks last year, you're not growing. Okay? You have to become new. You have to become new. Thinking is the first part. And a lot of people on here have mastered it. But the second part is the activity. Here is where we experience the gap, where 97% of people will never, it's not that they're lazy, where 97% of people will never believe in themselves enough to start acting like how they've been thinking. Where 97% of people will struggle to believe what they see in their mind. They'll struggle to believe that it can actually be them. They'll struggle. Now, if you're over 50 on here, I want to give you a lot of credit. The reason why I want to give you a lot of credit is because if you just started your self-development journey, which most of us became addicted to self-development in network marketing, okay? If you started your self-development journey over 50, it's 10 times harder for you to change than for someone under 50 to change. And the reason it's 10 times harder is because your frontal lobe is pretty much developed. So now you're trying to change all these truths that have been formed in you for years. And you're trying to get yourself to act and think and believe differently. I understand, because for the most part, if you were not in network marketing, who you are right now is who you're going to be. Okay? And that's just how it will work. So it's 10 times harder for you to have an identity shift. I get it. And because it's 10 times harder, I want you to expedite this process. So a lot of you are going to have to pretend for a while. Okay? You're going to have to pretend until it becomes you. And the way you pretend is to follow the leader. The way you pretend is to follow the leader. I was having a conversation with two people yesterday, and I asked her why she signed up in the business. And she said the reason she signed up in the business is she saw somebody posting all over social media and she liked her content and she liked all of this. And I said, well, what did you like about her content to make you want to partner with her? And she gave two reasons why she decided to partner with her. And I asked her, I said, well, do you do what attracted you to her? And do you do it on the level that she does it? Because if you want to attract you and your organization, you have the formula to do it. You have to do it on the same level the person who attracted you to the business do. We would solve 99% of our growth problems if you would just do what the person who influenced you to partner in the business will do. What happens in network marketing, though, is that people aren't doing what their coach is doing or what their mentor is doing. You're bringing one or two people in the business. The business is not growing because you don't act like your coach or your mentor, so you don't influence them. So you bring people into the business and they just sit there and they don't do anything because they don't have a model to follow. Are you following me, yes or no? So my point of saying that is, here are some things to know if your identity is shifting. Most people have mastered the mentality. The core people in this organization have 1000% had a mental shift, but this is different than what it takes to get results. Okay. Number one, your intelligence. Okay. Your intelligence has a lot to do with how your identity shifts. You know, my goal for myself by the time I turn 50 is pretty intense. I have apps on my phone that update me on different words to add to my vocabulary. Okay. And every day I study words just so I can add them to my vocabulary. Growth is very intentional. If I still sounded like I sounded when I was 24 years old, we would have a problem. Okay. So number one is your intelligence. How intelligent are you? Intelligence has a lot to do with influence. It's funny, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but because most of my friends are older than me. And so when people first meet me, okay, and they have never seen me speak on stage or have a moment to talk, when I finish talking, they're very surprised. And they have no idea that that was about to come out of my mouth. But it's very intentional, okay? Number two, you have to pay attention to the way you process information, which has a lot to do with your intelligence. You have to pay attention to how you process information. I want you to do something for me over the next 30 days. I don't want you to process information to know something. I want you to process the information to act upon something. So I'm not listening to know. This slows down your growth. I'm listening to act. What do I need to do? And how am I supposed to be acting? Okay. And the way that you do this still has everything to do with watching your coach or watching your mentors and mimic them. I've seen some of the best trainers. I witnessed this firsthand. Okay. Some of the greatest companies in network marketing, I can tell who've come from under that leadership. They almost all sound alike. They all use kind of the same similar techniques in their posture. You can tell they come from under the same leader. I can tell what leadership they've come from under. A great leader has a bunch of a lot of people that mimic their posture. They sound like them almost. If that leader is winking his eye 3 times, if you watch some of their students, they wink their eye 3 times when they're speaking. That's a great teacher. And some of the best people in my organization have been accused of kissing, trying to suck up to me. Oh, she'll do anything to get Stanisha's attention. Not only do they get the attention because they prove they respect me, but they also got great results. Now, it's not enough to just do it to make me happy because I probably will never notice that you're doing it. So you don't do it in a manipulative way. You have to genuinely be trying. You have to genuinely say, I don't know what it is about her, but I'm going to just trust that wherever she's headed for herself personally, I'm going to act like that. It's an identity shift. I'm going to act like that to get to where I'm trying to go. I can go on a lot of people's pages, and if I was to scroll through your social media, you act and post the exact same that you did last year. There's nothing different about you. This is very, 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 very dangerous. Okay? It's very dangerous. So your intelligence has to increase. Your ability to see when I'm listening, I'm not listening to understand immediately because I don't know based on what I want. I'm not going to be able to understand it immediately. I don't understand, but I'm listening to act. And so what starts to happen when you're listening to act, people will see a change in you faster than first let me understand it, then I'm gonna act on it. And when people see a change in you faster, you influence faster. The reason why people aren't jumping down your throat to join the opportunity with you is you're not influencing them. The way you influence is by changing. Okay? This is all great, motivational conversation, but the truth is what most people are struggling with is they're struggling with the confidence. Okay. Confidence, there's a gap in people's confidence. It's very crucial if you're going to have a successful career in network marketing or wherever, is that you have to be able to believe that you're this person. Like you have to be able to see yourself as this person. Because what's happening is when we're training you on imagination, you're mastering how to see it. But this version of you that you see, you don't believe that you're that. So you've mastered the tool of mentality exercises. But I would know that you've mastered believing that it's you by how you act. You would be on Facebook and you would be doing opportunity presentation. You do it every day. Anyone who says they believe that they can make $10,000 a month in network marketing and you don't do an opportunity on your page every day, you don't believe it. How could you believe it? You don't believe it. You believe that what people teach you can get you to $10,000 a month, but you don't believe you can make $10,000 a month. It's a difference. You've mastered imagining it, and you've mastered. I was doing some studying the other day, and there's a scripture in the Bible that says, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, okay, will enter into the kingdom of heaven. Not everyone. And I got a different revelation about it. Not everyone who's using the principles of manifestation get to access the kingdom of it, which is the promise. Not everyone that says, Lord, Lord, gets to enter into the kingdom. Not everyone who's posting, I'm so happy and grateful and have pictures on the wall get to access the kingdom and the promises of the principles. And where is that coming from? Why not? Because you've mastered doing the outside stuff to get people to think that you are that, but you haven't mastered it in your heart. And this only comes by focusing on you. You have to grow. You have to learn how to articulate your what you see for yourself, who you think you are. You have to learn how to do it. You learn how to do it by following someone. Let me ask you a question. If you were to grade yourself A through F right now, how well are you following the person that you're trusting to lead you? Put an A through an F. What grade would you give yourself? Be honest. I'm watching the messenger. C, a F, a D, F. But we got really honest people, okay? A D, all right, a D, okay, a C. What needs to shift immediately? I see one A. Oh, I see another A. I don't know who Charles Edwards is, but he said he's following an A. I don't know who signed him up, okay? But he said an A. Okay, I'm looking for some A's. Okay. So when we get off the training today, what you want to immediately start doing is get an A in that area. One of the problems in network marketing is that sometimes the person who signed you up is probably not the person you want to follow. Okay. So a lot of people are putting their purpose in the hands of their friend or favorite. Or you're putting their purpose in the hands of whose link you used. It don't work like that in leadership. You have to find who you connect to the best. Do not dishonor or disrespect who brought you into the business or who link you used. But you have to watch carefully who you feel has the power to unleash what's coming next for you. And anyone who's brought you in the business that wants the best for you will want you to do what's best for you. We don't control anybody. There is some people that may relate more to Karen than me, and I might have brought them in the business. There are some people who might relate to Rosalind more than me, and I brought them in the business. Literally, I'm not just speaking. Everyone has a different style, and it's okay. Some people may relate to Jerry more than me. But see, this is why leadership is a responsibility. If someone connects with you better and you're not doing the daily work on the inside, you're setting people's future. Let me tell you why I take network marketing so serious and why I grow myself every single day intentionally. I know people's future is on the line under my leadership. And it's my responsibility to become the leader capable of leading. I don't want people following me because they like me. No. I always tell people I've been popular my entire life. I was an All-American. I was voted most to be successful in my high school. I was the female athlete of the year, all of this. I don't care about any of that. I want people to follow me because they really do believe that I have something for their future. I don't want to waste my growing for fans. I want to grow with people who want to grow. Okay. So this is how I want to sum this up. The goal that you want to get to is that what you imagine, okay, what you imagine for yourself, to have the confidence to act upon it. And a lot of times people are stressing themselves out because they're like, man, I'm gonna stop being. A lot of times procrastination and laziness can stem out of fear. And so we always want to use first principle thinking, right? And so when you use first principle thinking, you avoid what the real problem is and you blame it on something else. Man, I wasn't consistent today. Yeah, because you really don't believe, you believe this stuff works and you believe it, but you don't believe it for you. Because why would I believe it for me? It's not even, I've done it and it's no results are coming. The other day I was thinking to myself, because I've been in network marketing for since I was 24 or 25 or something. I said, I've also been very, very patient. Very patient. It's almost 10 or 11 years to be who I am today. But But as I was patiently waiting, I was still growing and doing the activity needed to become who I want to be. There's two things I want you guys to do. Who's still writing the 30 names, first of all? I want to see if you guys have the capacity for these type of assignments. If you're still writing your 30 names, no point to lie. One of the things I take pride in my leadership is no matter what I tell you, I say if I'm lying, God can strike me down, okay? If you can't say that, put your hands down. Get to a point in leadership where you could honestly say, I promise you that I'm doing what I'm saying that I'm doing. Okay, Rosalind's got her book up. Okay, awesome. So you have the capacity for that. You've mentally shifted to at least follow instruction, which is awesome. The next 45 days, every single day, I want you to listen to the book Psycho-Cybernetics. Every day. Now, you're not going to consciously be able to listen to this book every single day, but it needs to be playing. It's a 10-hour audio. Okay. I need the full 10 hours to play every day for the next 45 days. You're not going to consciously be able to focus for 10 hours. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it needs to play every single day. You can listen in, you'll come out of it. You'll listen in, you'll come out of it every day for the next 45 days. Try your best to intentionally listen to it. There was a person who was making $1 million a month, and I asked her, I said, so how'd you get to that? What was going on? She blamed all of it on this book. Do you know what this whole book is about? Self-confidence. If you believe you are that, you'll be able to act on it. Every night when you go to sleep, you need to get some headphones. I want you to listen to the self-confidence formula for the next 45 days. You have two things you need to do. If you're married and your husband's not or wife's not into the self-development, put the headphones on. When you go to sleep, there's a 30-minute self-confidence formula audio out on YouTube. I want you to listen to it every day for the next 45 days. In the morning when you get up, you take the green capsule and you listen, start pressing play on the Psycho-Cybernetic book. In your car, while you fixing for your kids, in the morning, it needs to play. I know you're not going to be consciously listening to it for 10 hours. I know that. I want it playing where you can hear it. While you're at work, play the book. I want you to go through 45 minutes of intentionally growing your self-confidence. When you go to sleep at night, you need to listen to the self-confidence formula and take your purple and white capsule. That's the self-confidence formula that this organization is going to do over the next 45 days. Because what we're going to break through to is not only having a mental shift, but having an identity shift. And it doesn't come from trying to encourage yourself to not be lazy. Sometimes laziness and procrastination stems from fear. Okay, it just stems from unbelief. And so the procrastination and the laziness is a byproduct of not believing in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. There's no one's no better or no grander than the next person. No one. Not me, not anybody. Not Michael Jordan, not Oprah Winfrey, whoever. No one's better than anybody. I was listening to a girl train, and she said she was sitting at the table with some billionaires. And she said it was quite awkward when I was sitting there with them because I realized they're no different than anyone else. They just are very, very confident in themselves. Because confidence gets you to act. And it gets you to act in belief that this is actually yielding me a result versus get you to act because that's what Tanisha said to do. That's not enough. You got to believe in you more than I believe in you. I was doing a coaching call today and someone said, well, before we get off the phone, I just want to ask, do you really believe that I can do this? Or do you really believe in me? And even Jesus asked people, what do people say about me? That's a great question to ask. I've asked the question myself to people. Do you think that I'm able? And I said, I 1000% think you could do it. And I 1000% believe that any person, I haven't been able to watch all of you on a personal level, but I believe that someone can shift their confidence to a level where they start manifesting bigger results. And I think that you can shift your self-confidence to get to the point where you influence people you would have never thought would even pay you any attention. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for influence and we're looking for confidence. Are you guys following me? Okay. So what we're going to do for the next 45 days, okay? For the next 45 days, you've got 2 assignments that you need to listen to. I want you to really do some self-reflecting on how you feel about you. Not how your coach feels about you, not how Stanisha feels about you, not how your spouse feels about you. The only thing that is the most important over the next 45 days is to have a true paradigm of what God thinks about you. And I've noticed that in order to clearly understand what it is that God thinks about me, you only get that revelation through worship. Okay? You only get closer to comprehending who God thinks that you are and who God believes that you are through worship. So what you have to master doing over the next 45 days is you have to be able to quiet your spirit in order to hear him. You don't want to just hear him in a religious way. You want to hear him. You want to hear him to fuel your ability to believe that you are what he's given you permission to imagine. If he's instilled in you the ability to imagine a version of you, then he's also instilled in you the capabilities to be that. But the only way to make the thought flesh, or to make the pictures that you have on the wall and the things that you're writing in the notebook. How many of you guys have been journaling since I told you, and you pretend every day that you're someone else? Keep up. If you don't, I'm giving you grace because I've been giving you assignments, but every single one of these assignments are very, very important before you to become who I'm telling you. If you need to write it down, every day you need to journal like you're someone that you've been imagining, and you will become that person. You should be writing 30 names every day. You should be journaling every single day. The goal here is to get a revelation of who God thinks. What does God think about me? Do you know, if you really knew who God thought about you and what God thought about you, who you would be? You know, I've had paradigm shifts on that. And if I try to imagine as if what God thinks about me is somewhere on a line of a beach somewhere, I would be running for the rest of my life to try to catch what he thinks about me. It's too far and it's too big and it's too powerful. I would have to sprint until I died and I still would not get there. That's how much he thinks about us. He doesn't think any different of me than he thinks of you. But can you fathom that? Like, Are you understanding what I'm saying? You should be sprinting to what he thinks about you. We spend so much time and effort sprinting to what you think about who they think and what they think. I don't care what they think or who I don't care about any of that. I want to know what God thinks about me. So we're looking for the increase in our confidence. We're looking for the increase of our ability, our ability to have a relationship with our imagination, with our identity. And what I mean by that is, as you're imagining this person and you've been pretending that you really believe what it is that you see. And all of us have a level of pretending we have to do because, you know, we haven't done any of those things that we're putting that we're so happy and grateful for. There's an intentional focus on, as I'm visualizing like this version of myself, I need to really convince myself that that's me that I see. Not just an image of me, but that's me that I see. That's me that I see cashing a $50,000 check at the bank for 30 days. It's not just a picture, that's really me. And when you're imagining, stop for a second and take a moment to have a relationship with this. I see this other, okay, the problem now, that one of the, not the problem, but one of the growing phases is these strategies and techniques that we teach. It's like you see another you. That's not you. You see your face and you see another you. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like I see myself on stage, but that's another me. I still don't feel like that's me. That's like another me. No. That's you. You are that. Anybody was in Philly, anything that you'll ever become already inside of you. The best version of you and the worst version of you is inside of you. You get to choose which version you're gonna bring out. Okay, so the assignment is you're gonna listen to those audios for 45 days. We're in an intense launch where people are showing the plan and they are getting people in the system. We're intentionally trying to grow this business. Okay, over the next 10 days from now, at this time is an opportunity call. The next 10 days. I'm freezing you on training because now you're going to act on what we've taught you for 26 days. You can go on the YouTube and most of me and Nina's trainings are there. Some of Twyla's trainings are there. Now what I want you to master is those 30 people that you reach out to every day. I want you to ask them, do you have time tonight at 7 to get on a call to hear about, and whatever it is that you're pitching, if you're pitching CBD, if you're pitching the opportunity, whatever it is that you're pitching, you want to now master inviting people to this opportunity. That's what we're doing for the next 10 days. Are you guys following me? Okay. There'll be different leaders assigned. There's gonna be about 20-25 minutes. Okay. We're gonna cover the core products, we're gonna cover the comp plan, and we're gonna rock this thing out. But I believe that we're in a time now, in order for us to help you shift your identity, we have to send you out in twos to actually go do some work. Because this feels safe, right? You get to sit and train, and who knows what you do when we get off the trainings. I don't know what you do, okay? But I want you to prove that you are who you think that you are. And the way we're going to do that is by knocking out these opportunity calls. Orlando, you need to get the last, I think she said we have like 48 hours for you to just get that price on the hotel in Orlando. So if you haven't gotten your hotel, you want to reach out to me. We have the link. If someone can post the link, if you want to get it at that discounted rate, it is your responsibility to be in Orlando. It is your responsibility to be. I don't care what you have to do. You got to get to Orlando. You got to get there. If you don't have your ticket, go get your ticket. You're still giving yourself options to win. It's a mandate, okay? It's a responsibility that you have, all right? So listen, it's Saturday. Salute to everyone that is on this training. You stay consistent with yourself for the first 26 days. We got another 10 days. We're about to roll these opportunity calls out. I'm super excited and grateful to be working with you guys. Do your assignment. Post in the group when you're doing assignment. Let's get this culture going. Let's get this culture going. We got some cool things we want to share with you. But I'm grateful for you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.